From a really young age, I knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur. I was always trying to find ways to scale things and make more money, and that was just something I was really passionate about. I love watching progress, watching growth. After high school, I was accepted into UBC in the Sauder School of Business. I started working my butt off, making sure I got good grades so that I could get that good job just like we were taught in university. I ended up getting a job with one of the top 4 accounting firms downtown, and I was super stoked. One of the greatest things about that job was it actually gave me the entire summer off before starting work. And so with that, I went traveling. My girlfriend and I, we traveled to 10 countries across Southeast Asia in a span of 8 months. I kind of learned how much I really loved being on the road, and I loved that every single day was different. It was interesting because I remember everyone would tell me that, oh, you've traveled 8 months, you must have that out of your system, you must be ready to start working full-time, working the 9 to 5. And I thought that as well when I first started. I thought that it would be a lot easier to accept the fact that I was now going to be in an office from, sunrise to sunset. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I got into the office, and within about 2 weeks, I was like, what am I doing here? How am I gonna survive this? Because this isn't a one-year thing. This is the rest of my life. I just knew I had to get out of that environment of being in an office. I just wasn't doing well. I had been working on this YouTube thing. I put out a few videos. They were shaky, they're horrible to watch now. But the interesting thing was people enjoyed the raw travel experiences that we shared. And so despite not being necessarily pretty videos, people began to hit the subscribe button. They began to follow the trip. When I started realizing I couldn't work in the corporate world, I looked at my YouTube, which continued to grow 50 subscribers every day. It made me ask myself, what happens if I quit my job to do this full time? What happens if I teach myself to edit and invest in equipment so that I can make this a more enjoyable experience to watch? It was the hardest thing because I had to tell my friends, my family, everyone that knew that I'd worked so hard in school to get this job that, hey, I'm walking away from what seemed like financial success and security, and I just couldn't get myself to do it, and I very quickly learned that money was not going to be the thing that made me happy. I told my parents. They were at first very hesitant because try to tell your parents that you're going to make videos online for an audience that isn't there at the time and make money off that. It's scary for them because they've invested so much in me so that I could get to where I was. It meant telling my boss that had only recently hired me that unfortunately I wouldn't be around, but it was the best decision I ever made. If I'd stayed at that job, I would have not been happy. I wouldn't have been satisfied with what I was doing in my life. And so I think staying there would have been the biggest risk of all because I might not have gotten another chance in life to do the thing that really got me excited. So I think it was the thought process that I wasn't really risking anything when I quit my job. I was just kind of giving my greatest dreams a chance. I was finding the ways to decrease my burnout rate. So how can I decrease expenses? And the best way was to door knock on every single hostel and hotel and say, hey, can I stay here for free tonight in return for social media exposure? And I'd be sweating because I had my massive backpack on, but that's what it took to decrease my costs. And expenses were very low. And I was able to share with my audience the scary but exciting adventure of pursuing uncertainty. I was really just taken away by the initial support and continued support. I mean, it's incredible how supportive of an audience has been built around this channel, and they are the reason that this channel continues to grow at such a rapid rate. When I quit, I had about 15,000 on Instagram, and then on YouTube, I had probably a modest 2,000 or 3,000. When I traveled to the Philippines, I saw a very substantial spike. I started getting 50,000 views a video, and it was blowing my mind, and I was gaining subscribers every day. I think what's really important is to find out what need are you satisfying for that audience. So every audience has a different need, and that's the reason they come back to your channel. Figure out who your audience is and make sure that's an audience you want to cater to for a long time. Now, I would never want someone not to start immediately just because they haven't decided what they want to do. I think it's better to get your hands wet, start with anything. What's going to make you stand out from the other 100 is going to be your ability to stick with it. There's so much that is required of a successful influencer. You're going to be looking at 80-hour work weeks, and that has to be, again, something that you love doing because otherwise you're going to burn out. There's no regrets as far as I'm concerned. When I put out that first GoPro video, my only intention was to share it with friends and family and to be able to look back at these videos when I was old. If you had told me at that point that I would be doing this as a full-time job, I would not have believed you. I find it shocking that there's so much ability to make an income through this medium. If you're looking to escape the 9-to-5, I would say that you need to make sure you're not escaping it just for the sake of escaping it, because people can find things they're passionate about in the corporate world. And to those people I say, great, that's fantastic for you, because that is a lot more of a secure lifestyle. But if that's not your personality type, if you're someone like me who just didn't do well in the 9-to-5, then I would say make sure you find the thing that you are passionate about, because once you leave the 9-to-5, you're going to be working twice as much, twice as hard, and for no guaranteed return. That's the scary thing about it, is that you do not know what is going to come out of your hard efforts. But the potential payout is so much greater than someone who stays with the 9-to-5. I don't think someone who works a 9-to-5, working as an employee, will ever be able to be as free as somebody who is able to work for themselves. The focus of my channel has always been about passion. I found my passion for travel, for social media, and sharing the world with other people. When you find the thing you're truly passionate about, you will work so much harder than you could have in any other field. Find that passion and dedicate yourself to it.